Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to VSC Tillers Tractors Limited Q4 FY21 earnings conference call hosted by Batlivala and Karani Securities India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Hitesh Bhargava from Batlivala and Karani Securities India Private Limited. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Steve. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to VST Tillers Tractors Limited 4Q FY 2021 post-result conference call. From VST Tillers Management, we have with us today Mr. V.T. Ravindra, Managing Director, Mr. Anthony Cherukura, Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Pankaj Khemka, Chief Financial Officer. I will now hand over the call to VST Tillers Management for their opening remarks to be followed by Q&A session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Anthony Cherukura, CEO of VST Tillers Tractors Limited, and with me is Mr. Ravindra, Managing Director, and Mr. Pankaj Khemka, who is the CFO of the company. So, for the year-end results of financial year 21, we had an income from operations of 764 crores, 764.24 crore, which is a 40.6% year-on-year growth, and with an operational EBITDA of 105.26 crore, which is 13.77%. Which is excluding the extraordinary item, which is the employee VSS of 13.49 crores. And in the quarter 4, we had an income of 194.74 crores with an EBITDA of 21.33 crores, percentage of 10.95%, which again excludes the extraordinary item of employee VSS, which is at 13.49 crores. So this is in brief the results of the company for the last financial year. Some of the highlights which I would like to present to you. The company achieved the highest ever turnover of 764.24 crores. Previous high was 763.95 crores in FY18. The EBITDA percentage increased to 17.01% compared to 7.2% previous year. As I said earlier, the operational EBITDA is at 13.77% compared to 3.19% in previous year. The PAT is at 19.78 crore, which was previous year at 18 crore, which is a growth of 479% year-on-year. Coming to the highlights of quarter 4, the company achieved a turnover of 194.74 crore in quarter 4 FY21. EBITDA increased to 10.57% compared to minus 1.28% in the previous year. The operational EBITDA is at 10.95%, which I shared with you earlier. And the PAT for the quarter is 12.93 crore. Against previous year negative 3.38 crore, which is a growth of about 483% year-on-year. This is the brief of the performance of the company of FY21. Now we are open to any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Hitesh Bhargava from Batlivala and Karani Securities. Please go ahead.
Sir, you have indicated that there is one-off of 13.49 crores for VRS provision. Where exactly is this? It's under employee expense or other expense?
This is under employee expense. If you see the P&L, you will see 81 odd crore employee expense, which includes this 13.49 crore.
Okay. Sir, when we talk about 4Q performance, in 4Q other expenses are a bit higher than your average, I mean normal average. Is there any one-off or why is it a bit higher?
Yeah, in quarter 4, if you see, it's at about 25 crore. There are two things in that. One is the CSR expense of about 3 crore, which has come in this quarter. And then there is about 2 crores, which is interest that is not received and which is being written off.
Okay. So any more write-off spending at this particular item or all the provisions are made?
No, it is not pending. Nothing is pending.
Okay. And coming to your VRS scheme which you have started, post this VRS scheme, what could be our average employee expense for a quarter?
See, employee expense is gone. I mean, with the Bangalore operations shutting down, it will be 30 lakh expense which will come down per month.
Okay. Okay. Sir, can you help me a few bookkeeping questions, tiller and tractor revenue, and also what is our market share for 4Q and FY21, tiller market share?
Their market share Q1 FY21, we are at about 58% as of now. Sorry, you are talking about FY22, right?
No, sir, I'm asking. I'm asking about 4Q and overall FY21.
Yeah, overall FY21 we closed at about 53% market share for tillers.
Okay.
And the revenue from tiller was cumulatively at 387.4 crores, and quarter 4 was 105.84 crores.
105.85?
84, yeah.
Okay. And tractor revenue and spares?
Tractor revenue was at 288.63 crores for the year, and for quarter 4 it was 67.41 crores.
Okay. Okay, sir.
And parts at 82.68 crore for the year, and quarter 4 was 20.16 crore.
Okay, sir. Thank you. That's it from my side. I'll join the queue.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Chetan Cholera from Pragya Equities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Congratulations for good set of results for a full year. Sir, I just wanted to know what kind of area we have at Bangalore land.
Land. You're asking for the area of the land.
Yeah, area of the land and how much square feet we can construct on that, and how we want to go. Whether we want to go we want to develop as a JV, or we will develop of our own.
We have about 20 acres of land, but we have no plans of developing it at the moment. And you would perfectly agree with me that this is not the right time for any development.
Okay. And this VRS spend which we did like 13.49 crores, that is means all over, or there will be some more in first quarter also?
It is all over.
Okay. Can you elaborate more on our Zetor tractor development horsepower? You suggested 36, more than 36 horsepower, but any more terms and agreement and time frame and.
Yeah. So currently we are in the product development phase. This MOU was signed about a year back with Zetor. There is a lot of work going on, product finalization, product design, all that work is happening simultaneously. Now we have proceeded, we have put pen to paper on the product development agreement. The first phase, the first platform from VST Zetor will be launched in next financial year, which will be followed up by at least 2 more platforms in subsequent years. So cumulatively, in the next 3 years, we will be launching anywhere between 6 to 10 tractors from this JV alone. We also have, as mentioned in the MOU, we work together with them for various opportunities which include sourcing from India, which also includes exploring the East European market along with them for VST tractors. So this is in brief the work with VTOP.
How much cash or we have at or mutual fund in the end of the year 21?
Mutual fund investment, total cash in hand, investment is at about 283.4 crore as of 31st March, and cash and cash equivalent is about 28.82 crore.
That one non-receipt of interest is what exactly is
that is an overdue interest from dealers which is related to the subsidy outstanding that we have spoken to you about earlier as well.
So the last follow-up question, like what exactly we want to do of that land? Whether are we going to develop our own? That you might have decided something.
So no, we will see. There's a potential land. We will have to unlock its value. Definitely, we will do it. But the only point I am saying is that this is not the right time. So we will at the opportune time definitely look at it.
No, but development or selling land itself or how?
We have not decided that yet.
Okay. I'll come on the queue. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mukesh Saraf from Spark Capital. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. So my first question is on the dealers business. Could you give some sense on, the last FY21, how has the...
Mukesh, your voice is not clear, Mukesh. You're wearing a mask or something.
Just a second, sir. Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah, sorry. So on the dealer, the sales that we are doing without the subsidy, how is that panned out, say, in the last quarter? And in general, how is that situation? Do you see that continuing, irrespective of the state government subsidy? Do we still see, the sales of dealers still doing well?
Yeah, the subsidy has been going down, and the story has been the same last year as well. Subsidy did not, and most of the state governments diverted all the funds to fight COVID.
Right.
That story continues, but as I have said before, there is a trend change in the market that continues. The retail sale is increasing. The cash sale is as high as 40 to 50% now, and finance sale is about 5 to 10% on a monthly basis now, and it has become kind of consistent now.
So we can assume 60% of the tillers are sold without any subsidy right now, sir? 60.
Absolutely. As I have repeated before, Mukesh,
right.
The customers, it doesn't mean that the customer doesn't avail subsidy. He definitely applies for subsidy, but unlike earlier, he doesn't wait for the subsidy to come to purchase anymore.
Understood. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And secondly, the other the B2B kind of business that we were targeting on the tiller side because of the Chinese the restriction on Chinese tillers.
Yeah.
Any update on that? You said that by year end you were looking to tie up with some more.
Yes, Mukesh, we have tied up with 2 OEMs and we have begun supplies already.
Right. And what volumes do you think we can do, say, for the whole of the next year on this B2B business, sir?
We are looking at something like 3,000 numbers.
3,000, okay. But this would still be less than what they were earlier importing from China.
That's why I said we are conservatively looking at 3,000 numbers. It could be higher as well, but minimum I am looking at 3,000 numbers.
Right. Okay, got that. And secondly, on the tractor side, I mean, last year or so, we had launched some of our higher HP tractors on the 47, 39, 45, that HP. We're still seeing that greater than 30 HP segment for us is maybe last 4 months has been on an average around that 50 units a month. So, what is the situation there? it had touched 100 a month earlier, so we're expecting some scale up there. So is there any kind of a hindrance for that scale up?
There is no hindrance for the scale up. We have just moved from Bangalore to Hosur. So very soon you will see the numbers crossing 100.
Okay, but on the product side, the feedback, etc., there is no changes that is required, etc., that, from the customer side of view?
No, absolutely. The product is very well accepted in the market. I am very happy to say that last year we have done close to 1,000 number of these higher horsepower tractors compared to previous year of about 260 numbers.
Got it. Right, sir, right. I think, this is what I wanted to check right now. I'll get back into the queue, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nishat Shah from Equitas Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for this opportunity.
Mr. Shah, if you can take the phone off speaker, please.
Yeah. Is this better now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I wanted to understand what kind of price hike have we taken in Q4 and what are our plans going forward?
Cumulatively, we have taken a price hike of about 4 to 5%. But, in Q4 precisely, we have taken only about 1.5 to 2%. The balance we have taken in Q1.
Okay.
And we are watching inflation closely. So we will keep watching that. And of course, we have, as I have said before, we have a lot of cost reduction projects going on. We are trying to see that how we can manage this inflation based on those projects.
Okay. And sir, second thing, I wanted to have a clarification that our tiller sale value number is 106 crores for the quarter, right?
Correct.
And does this include sale to the OEM guy?
That was very little in Q4, but more numbers are happening going forward in this financial year.
That will be included in tillers and not the others part also going forward, right?
It will be included in tillers.
Okay. And sir, that will again be counted in our tillers monthly sales, which we give out monthly.
We will include it in the monthly sale, but we will not include it into the market share calculation.
Okay. Understood, sir. Sir, I wanted now few data points. So can you help me with our dealer addition for the quarter?
Cumulatively, we have added 155 dealers in the power tiller business and about 110 dealers in the tractor business last year. Out of that, about 60 odd dealers in the tillers has come in Q4 and about 30 odd dealers in tractors have come in Q4.
Okay. And sir, can you help me with the inventory at dealer level?
Inventory at dealer level is at about 40 to 45 days.
This is for both tractors and tillers?
Tiller will be at 45 days and the tractor will be slightly lesser at about 30 days.
In general, so now there is no inventory concern for the industry also right now, right?
Absolutely not. We don't have any concern on inventory.
Okay. And sir, last thing, how many higher HP tractors did we sell in Q4?
In Q4, we sold 207 tractors, 207.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Roshan Shah from Dhanki Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir, this is Kaushal Shah from Dhanki Securities. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I had two questions. If you can, share some thoughts on the Vida product that we had. If I remember, the last few calls you had mentioned that the response has been very good, and so if you can just share some more color on that. And yeah.
So Power Weeders last year was the first year. and we have done close to 1,800 numbers last year, which is good for the first year of our business. This year we definitely will be growing exponentially in that business.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah.
And the other question was on, this, in response to an earlier question you were regarding the Chinese tiller and the B2B business. If I remember, you had earlier, mentioned that the per annum numbers can, be significantly more than the 3,000 that you just mentioned. So, are we being a little conservative? I think, if I remember the number that you had shared earlier, so that I think higher than that. Yeah.
You know very well, given today's circumstance of COVID, we are not, comfortable in giving any forward-looking numbers, but I think 3,000 would definitely happen. So because we have orders and we are, kind of processing it. So that is why I said a minimum of 3,000 definitely would happen. But given the situation today, giving a forward-looking number is quite difficult.
Right. And one final question, sir, on the subsidy-neutral tillers. So we were trying to push that product also. So if you can just share maybe some numbers on that, out of our total tiller volume, what was that percentage?
Yeah. So if you remember, I had very clearly said we'll keep a close watch, and if the subsidy dependency doesn't go down, we will push that more. But interestingly, what has happened last year is the subsidy dependency has gone down. Like I mentioned to one of the previous callers, that almost 60% of sale is happening without subsidy now. So we have done only about 300 numbers last year of the subsidy neutral product, and the only reason for that is we didn't feel the need for it to go for it.
Great. And all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Devanshu Sampat from Yes Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello sir, good afternoon. So just on this Bangalore value unlocking, can it be expected in FY22?
I don't think so. FY22 will be too early and the market is totally down in. So I don't think so in FY22 we'll be doing that.
Okay. So and can you give a sense of the outlook of possible contribution in the current year or next year from your non-traditional businesses, right? So you have your non-tiller business or the non-compact tractor business. What can be sizable business that we can expect maybe in this year or next year?
Yeah. So apart from tractors and tillers, definitely the distribution business is something that we are growing, and the international business for tractors also we are growing rapidly. So these are the areas, to give you a percentage, we would like in the next 3-4 years, this should grow to at least 20% of our revenues.
Okay. And just coming to your working capital data, from what it is seen that there's been a great amount of release on working capital. So what can be expected over here? Because you're looking at debtor days coming down. So is it because of tightening of credit terms, or is it subsidy payments due would have become less over here? That is one. And how is this different from if we have done any credit term tightening? How would it be different from what had happened a few years ago before that thing backfired?
Yeah, one of the most important things that we have done is our entire supply chain is working on a theory of constraints model. So that is why our inventory is down at the dealer level and the receivables are brought under control. So we are working purely based on consumption, and the inventories are managed based on that, and the receivable, of course, the credit policy continues, and we have been able to bring more and more channel financiers for our dealers to manage working capital better. So these are some of the things that has brought down the debtors last year. And I think it is only getting better with our supply chain working to a totally different mechanism based on theory of constraints.
Okay, sir. When it comes to your payable days, what's changed over there also? Is this something that is sustainable as well?
Payable definitely is sustainable. Earlier we were at very less number of days. Now I think we are kind of at an optimum level. So we will definitely be able to sustain that.
Okay. And sir, if I remember correctly, we were paying interest on dealer deposits, which is part of your other current liabilities, and this figure was expected to go down. But if I look at the number, I mean, while it's reduced as a percentage of sales, in absolute terms, it's somewhere around the 43-46 crore mark, which was the figure 2 years ago also. So what can be expected over here?
Yeah, so actually the interest component that is shown there, or the finance cost that is shown, has two components to it. One is the interest paid to the dealers, which has definitely come down, which has, as I told you earlier. The other component is a certain bill discounting that we do for our vendors. So there is a charge that we pay to the banks on that, and that is also appearing there.
Okay. Then, given the, if you're saying the working capital is going to remain the way it is right now, any change in dividend payouts that we can expect, given that we are in a fairly strong cash position?
We have declared our dividend, which is at 200%. So, recommended at 200%, which of course has to at the AGM approved. So right now that is where we are.
So what will be the capex requirement this year expected?
Roughly about 17 crores.
17 crores. This will be towards?
Dividend.
No. I'm saying your capex.
Oh, capex is about 60 crores.
60 crores. And this will be towards?
Product development.
Okay, sir. Thank you and all the very best. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shashank Kanodia from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, can you share some color on the growth outlook for FY22? How do you see the power tiller sales volume and tractor sales volume for us as far as for the industry?
Yes, currently all the demand drivers are favorable. The monsoon is on time. The minimum support is in place. The cash in hand given by the government to the farmers is right on time. So the demand is good in the market. Although April and May there was a scare because of COVID wave 2. Right now that seems to be subsiding pretty fast, and the rural demand is picked up quite well in June. And we see going forward this trend to continue, unless of course, which we might have some of the experts talking about a third wave or a fourth wave. So that is totally unpredictable. So I can't talk anything about that. But as of now, things are looking good.
So at best, we can do something like 32,000 or 33,000 units of power tiller sales next year. Is it a realistic assumption to make?
I don't see any reason why we won't be able to do that. But as I said, this whole issue of the COVID, it is not behind us yet. So it is very difficult to predict any number right now.
Okay. Because we have additional 3,000 volumes coming from contract manufacturing as well, right? So
yeah.
Given that,
so that's why I said there is no reason why we shouldn't be able to do it. But giving a number out with the pandemic still not behind us is very difficult.
Right. And sir, on the margins trend, so the last 2 quarters, it's been a sequential decline for us, right? This quarter, the adjusted margins are roughly 13.5%. So sir, going forward, what is the sustainable range that we can foresee for us, given that there will be increasing volumes and operating leverage benefits coming in?
As I said earlier, we would be at the 12 to 14% range.
Okay. But sir, last 2 quarters, you have done much ahead of this range.
Yeah, so we are on the higher side of the range, and probably we'll have some quarters which we are not too eager to, but we might have few quarters where we will be at the lower side of that range.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. That's all from my side.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anand S. from BNK Research. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking my question. Sir, can you just touch upon the precision implements performance in FY21, apart from readers, how has the performance been? And just a brief on the outlook for the next year.
Yeah. So last year was the first year that we moved to Precision Implements division in Mysore. So we have set up the division. The manufacturing is fully set up. The rotavator has started selling from our manufacturing unit in Mysore. And this year we are looking at some exponential growth in that segment. Last year the numbers has not been significant. It was in the tune of about 4 to 5 crores of sale, because we literally started operating only towards the end of the year in Mysore.
Okay. Sir, over the last few years, the tractor industry has grown significantly, but tiller has remained, broadly flat. Why is the preference of tractors over tillers? Any reason?
Yeah, tillers have been looked at as a small farmer's machine, and one of the key reasons of the tractor industry growing is easy availability of finance, and that is not the case for tillers, because tiller is an item which cannot be registered. So we are working with banks to overcome that, and presumably, my take is that in the small farm mechanization in the next 3-4 years, you will find very good growth. It may not be necessarily in the tiller space. It could be in the weeder space or the smaller implement space. And some new varieties of tillers are also likely to grow, which we are also innovating. We will also be launching in the market.
Okay. So just to follow up, what is the share of financing in tillers?
5%.
Okay.
5%. Yeah.
Is there any possibility of increasing it, comparable to?
It was earlier at 1% or 2%. Now it's come to 5%. I strongly believe that with the new banks coming up and the tie-ups that we have, for example, with Jana Bank and other new age banks, we are driving very hard to increase the retail financing in power tillers.
Okay. So who are the major players in financing currently?
Almost all the banks are financing, the big nationalized banks are financing, but if you look at the percentage of finance for tiller vis-a-vis tractors, the tiller percentage is very low, as I said.
Okay. Just one last question. What is the capex plan for FY22?
We have a 60 crore capex plan for FY22.
Okay, sir. That was helpful. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Khush Gangar from Care PMS. Please go ahead.
So all my questions have been answered. Just last question on the capital allocation. So we have around 300 crores of capex, cash plus investments, and you mentioned about 60 crore of capex for next year. How do you plan to use this cash? On any equations in mind, or so any thoughts on that?
Yes, we are looking at growth opportunities, and we are working on it, and definitely we'll let you know as things fructify.
Okay, sure. That's it.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead.
Namaskar, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, firstly, sir, you articulated the fact that 60 crore would be spent for this year in capex, and that would be attributable to the product development. So, sir, if you could throw some more light, how is this going to catapult going forward? How are we going to reap the benefit of this 60 crore into product development? Which are the areas in new money? How is this spend going to be benefited to us going forward?
Yeah, so we have product development happening, as I said, in both the small farm mechanization area as well as the tractor area. So we have some projects going on with Zetor. We have some projects which is being developed for the compact tractors. And in the coming years, we are looking at least 3 to 4 product launches every year in both these small farm area as well as the tractor area. So the investments are being done in this direction.
Right, sir. Sir, in the precision component part, sir, 2 years earlier also, sir, this unit was contributing around 7 to 8 crores, sir, and we invested around 24 crore for the modernization. So, sir, how are things stacked up today for the precision unit at Mysore, and what are the likely contributions, sir? I missed your comment which you spoke about commissioning in the month of March. So correct me, sir, this unit was contributing earlier also.
Yeah, so this unit was set up mainly to contribute to the internal requirement of VST, and that still continues. So it continues to support VST in terms of the major precision components like connecting rod, crankcase, camshaft. All this material is still coming from Mysore. The machining is done in Mysore. That continues. However, we want to develop it as a profit center, and for which we have decided to look at precision implements also from Mysore. And that is the direction, and we have set up rotavator manufacturing in Mysore to begin with. And we are also building this division to get into balers, to get into sprayers, which also complements our compact tractor, which is mainly used in the vineyards and orchards. So we are getting into sprayers, we are getting into balers, we are getting into rotavators. All these operations are out of Mysore.
So, sir, basic understanding, the product portfolio is going to improve when we are selling a tractor. The other requirement which the people would have to knock some others door, that would also be available at the same umbrella.
Correct.
This is what
Correct. You're right. You're right.
So going forward, so what is the potential, sir, for this Mysore unit next year, since you must have done the work? So how are we seeing the current year contribution from this unit, sir?
In FY22, we are looking to grow the rotavator business, to begin the baler business and the sprayer business. So the last year, as I said, we did about 4 to 5 crores. We are expecting an exponential growth this year on the rotavator business front. So my best estimate at this point would be we should be able to do about 2,000 to 3,000 rotavators from Mysore.
In value terms, sir, how much it would translate into?
Each rotavator costs about 50 to 60,000 rupees. So you can
52 to 60,000 rupees and 2,000 at best.
Yeah.
Sir, now coming to this raw material basket part, sir, I think so steel, what portion does steel contribute towards our raw material basket?
Steel contributes, various forms of steel, casting, forging, so it contributes at least 40 to 50% of the tractor and tiller.
Okay. And sir, there has been a steep escalation in the steel prices, and they are not abating as of now. So, sir, how has this pass on happened, and what is the impact on the industry, sir, with this steep steel price increase in steel prices, which are still continuously rising and not unabated?
Yeah, so far the increase has hit us to about a tune of 9%, and we have most of the players in the industry have managed to pass on a portion of it, 4 to 5%, depending on which company. I don't think more than this the farmers would be able to afford in terms of increase in price of the tractor or the tiller. So I think the focus of every company is, one is to optimize costs, cut costs wherever possible, and manage this inflation at the moment.
Right. So we spoke about this JV also currently, about we doing a JV, something we got it to the stock exchanges, in developing a product profile in the tractor segment.
Yeah.
I missed the earlier commentary if you have spoken. Pardon me, sir. For the Zetor tractors from Czech Republic. Sir, what is the game plan here, sir? What is the investment going to be, and how is it going to contribute to the top line and bottom line going forward?
Yeah. So we as a company have got into, earlier we were only in power tillers and compact tractors. Now we have got into the higher horsepower space. And in the higher horsepower space, Zetor is a very well-known brand worldwide with very strong image, even in India with their earlier JV with HMT, if you remember. So Zetor has a brand recall in the higher horsepower tractor space and a good technology. So we decided to work together with them and develop tailored product for Indian requirements. So that product development is going on, and as I said before, we are launching the first phase of products next financial year, that is in FY23, and subsequently every year we would be launching a range of tractors in FY24 and in FY25. So we have at least 3 phases of products that we have conceptualized. Phase 1 product work is going on right now.
So sir, this 60 crore जो आपने बताया capex का, what you have told about this 60 crore, what portion will go for this Zetor tractor particularly? If you could quantify, I just wanted to understand the percentage that will go.
So it is a bit of a confidential question you are asking, but I can roughly tell you that it is about 10 to 15% of our capex plan.
10 to 15% of our annual capex plan, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I missed your earlier commentary, so pardon me, sir. Sir, you told that on the base of 30, what was our annual numbers in the tiller segment for this year, sir?
This year the tiller number was, just a second, 27,318.
And tractor?
Tractor was 8,835.
So sir, on the tiller part, if I'm not correct, me, sir, 33,000 is the level we are looking if there is no further impact of this pandemic.
Yeah,
this is what
you're
the
right.
likely number.
Yeah, you're right. The number you said is around what we are looking at. Yeah.
And for the tractor part, sir?
Tractor part also we expect to grow at least to 10-15%.
Okay, so because the tractor industry has been moving, sir, on the upward trajectory, so the base is moving up every year, and on top of this incremental base, since we are small in the market share, I
will take some time and explain to you.
Okay.
Actually, we operate only in 10% of the tractor industry. See, there is a 900,000 tractor industry. Out of that, compact segment that we are in, up to 27 horsepower, is only about 90,000 tractors. So in that 90,000 tractors, we sell about 10-11,000. Okay. So it is only now that we have gone into the larger horsepower space. So that is what I said, we are just entrants in that space. So actually, we are a player only in 90,000 of the 900,000 tractor industry.
Right. So we have an addressable market of 90,000 only, where the growth numbers would be looking at.
Yeah. So here we are definitely continuing to grow. We are looking at global push on the compact tractors as well. Very happy to say we are growing very well in the international market, and that we will continue to do that. Also, we want to be a part of the larger pie, which is the balance 800,000 tractor industry. That is why we have gone into the joint venture with Zetor, because we want to accelerate our entry into that area very fast.
Right, sir. And very small 2 points, sir. Please explain, sir, the benefit of the VRS that we have gone through, and what is that unit now going to be utilized for, the Bangalore unit where we have spent 13-14 crores?
Multiple benefits, I would say. One is the tractor, higher HP tractor plant needed a larger capacity. Earlier capacity was limited in Bangalore, so we had to move to Hosur. That is number one. Number two, as some of the other peers have asked me, there is a certain value to be unlocked from this land. It may not be the right time for us to do it, so we have not decided anything on that right now. But at an opportune time, we will be doing that as well.
Then what should be the ballpark figure, sir? The value of land, you must have done valuation lastly.
No, I don't have any value. I know it is in, it is in the city, so it has got good value. I don't have a valuation to, give you a correct value at the moment.
Right. And lastly, on the capital work in progress, sir. Yeah, please. Capital work in progress, if you could throw some light, I'm coming in the queue, sir. I got your point.
Yeah.
Thank you,
okay.
sir. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Please throw some light on capital work in progress of 25 crores. How much is going to get capitalized?
No, the capital work in progress are some of the projects that we have undertaken, which is yet to be completed, which we have issued purchase orders for, and which is in progress right now.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Keshav Garg from CCIPA. Please go ahead.
Sir, I wanted to understand that our operating profit in FY21, even after adjusting for COVID and the 13 crore VRS, etc., sir, it is the same as we did 7 years back in FY14, which was around 120 crores. Sir, and during this period, we have done a capex of 250 crores and our net worth has doubled. So I'm trying to understand that it seems we are running constantly to be at the same place. And sir, if we adjust for inflation, then our EBITDA in last 7 years has actually halved. Sir, so basically, when do you foresee us getting out of this range that we are stuck in?
Yeah, so it is a 7-year view vis-a-vis a 1-year view or a 2-year view that you're looking at. So, but yeah, your sentiments are right, but we have clearly stated our vision for growth now, and we have started the journey. Within a year, you have seen that we have turned around our business completely to the original levels which were there in FY18. So, I see that the plans and the strategy that we have put in place for growth is shaping up, and forward-looking numbers is something that I'm avoiding, but I'm sure that you will see us progressing on the growth path in the coming years.
Okay, sir. And also, sir, wanted to understand our pricing on both sides, tractor as well as tiller, for the same horsepower, same to same, if we compare with competition, how do we stack up in terms of tractors and also tillers, in terms of pricing, whether we are at a premium or a discount?
In both the areas, we are very competitive. In tractors, we have both the positioning, especially in the compact space, where we are one of the leaders. See, as I said, we operate in only 90,000 numbers of the tractor industry. And in the compact space, we have been leaders for a long time, with around 11-12% market share, especially the four-wheel drive compact tractors. Here we have both positioning. We have a value for money positioning, and in the last year we have launched products in the premium positioning as well. So we will continue to have both the positioning in the compact tractor space, and even in the higher horsepower tractors we will have both the positioning. With the VST higher horsepower tractors, we will take the value for money positioning, and with Zetor, the VST Zetor products will be the premium positioning products.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Chetan Cholera from Pragya Equities. Please go ahead.
Sir, are we on track of the 3,000 crore target for March 25? And that how much will be from tractors and tillers and other products?
Yeah, both these businesses would have to be upwards of 1,000 crores for us to get to the 3,000 crore mark. And last year was the first year of our journey. And although we are slightly short of the benchmark we had put for ourselves, due to COVID and all that, but I think the company and the team has done very well. Given the circumstances, almost 2 to 3 months were lost to COVID, and then after that we had the supply disruption. If the supply was there without any disruption, I would like to tell you that we would have easily crossed that milestone that we had put for the first year. But unfortunately, supply disruptions was a fact last year. And unfortunately, even in the first quarter, we are facing those challenges. But I think we are better off because we have had 1 year of learning and we have done a lot of corrections. And in short, we are right on the way, and we are working very hard towards ensuring that we get to that vision of 3,000 crores.
Yeah, sir. Just let me try finally. Since the land is quite valuable area, and currently the depressed time, what will be the ballpark per acre figure? So we can visualize.
No, I don't have. It's not right on my part. I mean, if you want to, it's a board decision, and I'm sure we will see. As I said, we will be unlocking the value at an opportune time for sure. But right now, as you and me and all of us know, that is not the right time for any real estate development to do, and we are not planning anything, and we have not decided anything.
Embassy and Prestige people come on TV and they say Bangalore is doing quite well. So I don't know.
I mean, I can't comment on that, but the situation right now, especially after the COVID wave too.
When can we expect to hear from you guys?
I don't have an answer for that right now, but we will definitely let you know once we decide.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Hitesh Bhargava from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Sir, a couple of bookkeeping questions. Can you help us with industry tiller volumes for FY21?
Industry, just a second, I'll have to. It was roughly about 53,000.
Okay. And also, what is our subsidy neutral tiller volumes for FY21?
Roughly about 300 numbers.
Okay. Sir, if I'm not wrong, the price of subsidy neutral tiller is somewhere around 135,000 and the normal tiller is around 150,000. Am I right?
More or less, yes.
And also the subsidy neutral tiller is little lower HP. It's around 12 HP, right?
Yeah, correct.
So in this case, what is the rationale behind we believing that subsidy neutral tiller may gain traction if the subsidy is being removed? So, trying to understand, there is only difference of 15,000 and the HP is also lower in Kisan, our Kisan brand, which is a subsidy neutral tiller. So what is the rationale here? Because you are spending only 15K and you will get a higher HP, which is used in multiple places. So can you explain?
Yeah, so 2-3 things. One is, we looked at what are the kind of products which the customers buy without subsidy. So we saw products being bought at a top range of about 130 to 135 to 140. Beyond this, the customers were not growing. And your price of a regular tiller is not the MRP. The MRP in the market is at about 170, 175. So the difference is not 15,000. It is almost 35 to 40,000.
Okay. So do you think that the 30 to 40,000, the difference, will be mitigated by the applications which can't be used by subsidy neutral tiller?
No, subsidy neutral can do every application with the other product does.
Okay, fine, sir. One last question, sir. How is the supply side situation? If I'm not wrong, Bosch is supplying for us and Bosch is saying they are facing issue with semiconductors. Do we have any impact on supply side currently?
We don't have any semiconductor issues, so we don't have any problem from Bosch. But there are, of course, April, May was a big challenge because of the lockdowns that was there.
Okay, sir. That's it from my side. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Divesh Shah from Pragya Equities. Please go ahead.
Sir, congratulations for a good set of numbers. Sir, my question is regarding the other income. This year we have shown the other income as 46 crore versus 23 crore. So is it any one time, and what is the compositions of other income?
Fair value increase is about 28 crores.
Okay.
That is a bulk of it. And roughly other operational, other income, for example, we spoke about something like bill discounting, which is about 1 crore. Then we have some write backs which we had provisioned for, which will be about 7 to 8 to 10 crores. So it's all adding up to about 45-46 crores.
And sir, once again clarification regarding VRS. As I understood from your answer that VRS of 13.49 is that's all that we have provided in financial year 21.
Yeah.
So after year ending, there is no VRS for April and May. So it is full and final.
Full and final.
How many employees were there for VRS?
70 some number, 72.
So this is the final figure. Now we will not get VRS in first quarter, right?
No.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Devanshu Sampath from Yes Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so just another follow-up. Just wanted to check with you on the plans or the expectations or the game plan with regards to Monarch.
Yeah, we are supplying the hardware from India, except the electric motor and the electric batteries. So the supply is started. Right now, the Gen 1 products are in demonstration and trials in California. The production is expected to begin by the October quarter in California. The assembly will start there, and the supply will start our last quarter, that is quarter 4 of this year. They would be, if everything goes well, will be commercially launching in California. That's the plan on that.
Okay, so full impact should come in FY23 if everything goes as planned.
Correct.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I think I missed this earlier, but can you tell me about the contribution from Leaders this year and what is the expectation in FY22?
Leaders, we did about 1,800 numbers last year. In FY22, we would like to grow that business exponentially. Roughly, let's say about 3 times at least.
Did you say 1,000 in FY21?
1,800.
Oh, 1,000. Okay. We're looking at 3x of that. Okay.
Yeah.
And has there been any development on the tie-up with Qbot in France?
Yes, we are continuing to work with them. Unfortunately, the physical meeting has not happened. So currently, we are getting SKD units, assembling and selling in India.
Okay, and does the long-term plan even include manufacturing for them and exporting for them as well?
That is what we are hoping for, but it's not concluded. Nothing has been put on paper.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we take the next question, a reminder to the participants due to time constraint, please limit your questions to 1 per participant. The next question is from the line of Vikas Vardhan from Value Research. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to know the status on regarding the share purchase agreement investment of Zenio Inc. And how do you look at this segment as an opportunity? Thank you.
Yeah, Zenio Inc. is nothing but Monarch Tractor, where we have invested in the company. We have invested about 11.07 crore in Zenio Inc. This is both in terms of being in the forefront of technology of electric and autonomous tractors, and also the fact that we are kind of supplying the entire tractor other than the battery and the motor from here.
Okay, so have
Hello?
we already made this investment?
We have made this investment of 11.07 crore. Yes, we have done that.
Okay, got it. Okay, thanks. That's all from my side. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mihir Parekh from Tamohara Investment. Please go ahead.
Sir, thank you for the opportunity. I had a couple of questions on the higher HP tractors. So just wanted to understand that in FY21, which new states or markets we have entered, and what is the plan going to be in FY22?
Yeah, so last year we have entered the northern markets, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan. So we are at about 60 to 70 dealerships today, which we would want to expand to more than 200 dealerships in the current financial year.
Okay, and what is the estimated volume in the higher HP we are targeting this year?
This year we are looking to, right now, we are kind of ramping up the volume in our new plant in Hosur. Now we are looking at doubling the volume from last year.
We are expecting to touch about 2,000 number in FY22.
Yeah.
Okay. And so one last question is on the new product launches. So what is the pipeline for the current year with respect to tillers, compact tractors and higher HP tractors?
Yeah, new product launches in this year, we would be launching at least 2 range of compact tractors. We would be, looking at getting our own technology in engines as well as hydraulics. So these are the major things in tractors. In the small farm machine space, we will be launching, in fact, we have already launched 2 weeders in the month of May. We will be launching a 9 HP power tiller. We will also be launching a range of brush cutters in the coming months.
Okay. And sir, we were also looking for some tie-up in precision division, implement division. So do we have any update on the same?
Yeah, we are in talks with a few companies, but nothing has been finalized yet.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The next question is from the line of Dipen Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, sir. Most of the questions have been answered. I just wanted to summarize the next couple of years. If I understand correctly, the growth in the current year would likely come from the OEM supplies which we do for the Chinese manufacturers, for the new weeders and precision equipment which we will be implementing. And the next year should be Zetor tractors which should start coming in. Is my understanding correct, sir?
See, there are multiple levers of growth. You have kind of highlighted some of the new product launches or categories that we are getting into. Exactly. Apart from this, see, there is a large expansion in the dealer channel that we are doing. There are several sales acceleration projects that we are doing. So, multiple levers are being pushed to ensure that we, hit the milestone that we have set to achieve the vision.
Yeah, I understand that. So because I was talking about the new products which should drive growth in the current year.
New products are more or less right, yes.
Okay. And sir, when we are looking at, say, a number of 33,000 from 28,000, if at all there is no third wave, would that include the 3,000 OEM volumes which we will be doing?
Yeah, it will include that.
Oh, so it will include that. So on an organic basis, the tiller business you think should grow at maybe sub 10% or 10%?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Govind Lal Gilada, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir. Only one question regarding this land. So you told that, okay, at the right time you will develop this or unlock. I just want to understand, is that land is specific for industrial purpose has been allotted to us, or nothing is needed to convert to it to develop? That's what I wanted to. Suppose we want today to develop, hypothetically I am asking, if we decide that we want to develop.
Yeah, it is allocated for an industrial purpose.
So, so then is it feasible to unlock by selling or developing? That's what I want to understand, sir. What is the procedure Because it is
We haven't studied that yet. We will definitely come back to you on that.
Okay. Thank you. Then one more last question, sir. Regarding this margin, you told 12 to 14%. This margin is including of other income, or this is before other income or after other income? This is
operating margin that I spoke about.
Operating margin is before
without other income.
Follow. Thank you, sir. All the best. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I think it's kind of time now. Hello.
So should we take another question or?
Sure. Yeah. So let's go for the last question.
Okay, sure. The last question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you again for the opportunity. Sir, in the power and fuel mix, sir, are we planning any renewable investment mainly in the solar segment as the changes in the solar policy by the government? Anything in
we have already done that for all our plants.
Okay, sir. So what portion of it of our power requirement is drawn from the solar energy?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't have a figure right now, but I'll have to get back to you on that. Yeah, roughly about 20%, you can say.
20% of our requirement.
Yeah.
And the rest is drawn from the grid.
Yeah, the rest is drawn from the grid. Yes.
So, sir, more investment are we planning to improve the percentage going forward?
Yes.
So, sir, what kind of capex are you looking into it, sir, going forward?
It will be an OPEX model.
It will be an?
OPEX model. Operate and...
OPEX model,
yeah.
So we will pay per unit charges.
We will be paying per unit charges. I'll ask my CFO to explain it to you.
So this will be an OPEX model wherein the entire investment will be done by the service provider, and there will be an agreed rate, and we will be paying per unit rate to him. So there is no capex involved from VSC. You only have to provide him the roof.
Oh, it will be a rooftop arrangement.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So one bookkeeping question on the current asset part. The investments have gone up from 121 crore to 258 crore. So is it on the revaluation front also, or more investment have been done from the cash accrual for this year also?
There are more investments.
More investments being done for this year.
Yeah, right.
Right, sir. Sir, only a small request, sir. If with our numbers, just the volume part and some introductory statement, it could be made with the press in a form of press release for investors, that would be very fruitful, sir. If that could be considered, sir, going forward, elaborating how the quarter was.
Yeah, we'll cover this. We'll cover this in the next quarter.
Yes.
You noted this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, and for giving us this opportunity to share our results with you. And stay safe, and look forward to interacting you the next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Batliwala and Karani Securities India Private Limited, that concludes this conference. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.